system needs to collapse. You understand? You will. She said more.
Honestly, he will help you. He will not allow us to be tools in their hands because it is very attractive. Any judge that wants to be multi-billionaire, you can do it easily. You don't even have to ask for it. They are chasing you, you know. But if we're going to help this country, we have to stand beyond. If I go against the system, I may not get to the apex court, or I can be, posted to some strange place. We have to go beyond that. We have to go beyond that, and we have to come out in our boldness now. We have to come out in our boldness. We have to be bold. We have to be ready to confront the system. We have to be ready to confront the system. The sages we talk about of old, they are ordinary men like me and you. They're ordinary men. But these ones just decided that we are going to defend the people. They came against Decree 2, they came against Decree 4. And we are talking about totalitarian regimes of those days, that is Buhari and Babangida. But they went ahead and they decided, okay, if you say that you don't want us to intervene in those areas of the Constitution that you have suspended, whatever acts you do, you must have followed the law. And of course, soldiers, because I'm a soldier's child, they don't believe in, they believe in orders. That way, they were able to liberate. You saw judgments from bold people. So I'm calling for boldness, and I'm also calling for the NJC, who is doing a noble job. I must not celebrate them because of the headship. There is a difference. They're going against corruption. They're going against all kinds of misconduct. But at the same time, we must be careful that we do not weaken judges that want to go out of the mold and come out in defense of the people and stand against the system. We have to be able to protect those ones, because if you don't have your way in a case, what happens in Nigeria now is they will write petitions. It's like they have even forgotten the appellate process. It is easier to write a petition. And when you write a petition, there's nobody in this room that does not have a skeleton in their cupboard. Everybody has a skeleton. By the time you start digging into a person's past, there's something you will find, And if one is not careful, a bold judge can be finished just because that judge has gone against the norm, against the society, and the person is a person of truth. So that is my plea to the NJC. Now, another plea is going to be for the everybody, the National Assembly, the presidency. We must pass those bills concerning the judiciary that I believe are before the National Assembly right now. Because I was part of the Summit of Justice. That's why I'm happy that Mr. Maiyegun is here, because he was the president of the Bar Association at the time. And there was a summit that was held, I think it was convened by the Attorney General's office, by the Nigerian Bar Association, and then UNODC and some other organizations that thrashed, I think about a 2 or 3 day program. Before that, there had been series of workshops, private workshops that were held. And everything was gone through. The whole structure of the judiciary, how to liberate it, how to limit appeals that go to the apex court, how to administer the courts effectively. All that was dealt with, the administration. And these are bills that should have been passed yesterday. I cannot understand why They did not
Worry, madam. Justice. I've been a retired justice. Wike is in charge of the judiciary. And Tinubu's kind of reform for the judiciary is Wike's developed prototype. And what is that? Build mansions for the judges, buy them some latest automobiles, increase their salary, right, by 104% first year, increase it again by another 276% again. So meaning they got a salary raise, or they got pay rise of hang on, one, of over 380 or so percent in 2 years under Tifnumbu. That's the judicial reform. What other independence do you want them to have? So that they can become what? There is a name they actually call these judges in America. They have names for these judges that I think they call them radical judges. No, not radical. They are like Luther judges. You get what I mean? They are judges that would always, if the government is to the left, they are always going to go right. If the government is to the right, they're going to go left. So if you fall in on any of their, whether the federal cases, so they can always give judgment based on something that is like opposed to what the establishment wants. But you can't compare that with Nigeria, okay? Like she said, Nigerian judges themselves, the judiciary as a whole, there is not a single person. She actually used a blanket statement like there's no one in Nigeria that doesn't have a skeleton in his cupboard. Therefore, NJC is the umbrella body for the Nigerian judges. I think they call them Nigerian Judicial Commission or something. I don't know. So she's appealing to them that if any judge decided to just be on the side of the people, be on the side of the people simply means you are going to go against the system, the establishment, and they will always come for you. They will write petition and they will ask the NJC to remove you. But the NJC go for Enko. Like who controls the NJC? The same executive. The Nigeria judiciary submitted whatever it is that is left of their credibility when they turned blind eye before our very eyes like this. Right? They presented the evidence of the rigging. They presented the evidence that Tinubu shouldn't even be running to be president of Nigeria. He's a criminal, a heroin trafficker, and with all this evidence, it's a certificate forger too. Here you get, and the Nigeria judiciary just became fully blind like that, partially blind rather, and they said the people didn't present any evidence. They didn't present any evidence that Tinubu rigged. They didn't present any evidence that Tinubu is a criminal. Really? So the judiciary submitted that. And since then, right, they are done. It is as simple as that. If any radical judge decided to be on the side of the people, there is a chance that that judge will disappear. And disappear in this context, it's not like they will kill or jail him. No. They will send him to somewhere that he will probably become so irrelevant, because in Nigeria, right, their system is built on favoritism, so to say. What does that mean? It simply means that there are juiciest places that you can be posted to, juiciest states that you could be posted to, and you be as a judge, and you are just going to become a billionaire. An example, if you are posted to become a judge in, whether a federal high court to be appeal court to in Lagos, in Abuja, in Rivers, and basically that, yeah. Then maybe just let's add Kano, yeah, Kano. I don't know, maybe more. Those are places that if you become judge there, the politicians have enough money to bribe you if you have to do election case, if you have to do land cases, if you have to do land dispute, if you want to do, like, you will be receiving bribes. So majority of them actually prefers those places. Here you get, like they will say, she's going to be the president of the Court of Appeal here, and that stuff. So they bribe for that. So if you become somebody that is on the side of the people, in cases that politicians have interest, they will write petition to the NJC. They will have you, swing you somewhere else. The judiciary, you see, people like that retired justice, there are many like that too. You understand? Those who believe that, some said that, okay, leadership, if you have good leadership, you'll be surprised, things can turn around and people will follow and all of that. And they believe that. And there are those who believe that, listen, if the judiciary should just automatically come straight, you get it now, like because they follow their laws, and half of them decided to just like choose to want to put the politicians in their place, that Nigeria will change overnight. I was like, okay, people who have that kind of belief, they are not living in reality. You get that now? Because everything still comes down to, you are begging those who are neck deep in this level of corruption or compromised judiciary. They are making a kill. They are multi-billionaires on their own as well from this corrupt way. So you are hoping that they will change their way, change their minds, right? And to go against that particular privilege the corruption is giving them. So you see, it's not like, like you have the power to change that, but you are banking on the already corrupt, contaminated people, hoping that they will think about Nigeria and do what is right. The National Assembly, everybody, with this country, the way this country is going, it's not right. I mean, we are not happy. The blah, the blah. I want her to finish. There's a part more.
Contingents, there was a retreat, and they invited me. And we went to the courts in Malaysia that had a terrible backlog problem. And the Chief Justice told us how he was able to do it. He said he had to come down from his seat, to the lower courts, and then they now sort out, okay, how many are the cases that are this up to this year? Okay, how many are the pending cases? Now, they now set up this force that, okay, maybe the older justices, you deal with the cases that are being filed. Okay, the new justices, you deal with the cases that have been 5 years and over. And they said that way they were able to deal with the backlog. And then they are also heavy on technology. I don't know why we're still writing longhand. I don't know why. I don't know why this country is writing longhand. Smaller countries, they have recording machines. When I was in practice, because I had recording machines that I wanted to use and I needed, I could finish a case in 1 year. But if I'm writing longhand, you can't. There's no how. The cross-examination of okay, now they have adoption of deposition. Cross-examination itself can take about a month if you are writing longhand. And you're very, aggressive to the people. You think I'm a stenographer? You're talking too fast. You're talking too fast. And because of that, there are just so many cases in the courts. So technology, we must, please, we must. The backlog We have to deal with it. Otherwise, it's not going anywhere. We have arbitration centers even in the Supreme Court. We have in the Court of Appeal. I believe that if you ask a flurry of litigants who have even got to the Supreme Court, would you like your case to go to arbitration? Some of them would say yes. Because I took this up. I don't know whether my Lord Justice Agbe agrees with me. Because I took this matter up with the one of the former CGNs and also a justice of the Supreme Court. And he said that, look, anytime somebody files an appeal to the Supreme Court, what they want is judgments, not arbitration. But I'm saying that Nigeria has a peculiar problem, and we have to deal with that problem, no matter how it takes. We must deal with that problem. Having said that, I now want to plead with our judges that please let us elevate merit and justice over technicality. Please, please. When people come to justice, when they come to the courts, there are some people that come to court for coming to court's sake. But basically, when people come to court, it's because they are saying, please vindicate me. Don't throw them away. The lawyers of old, the judges of old, and I refer to Justice Obundare in the case of, I think it's Udua, Talabi versus Udua, where he said that technicality is a blot in the face of justice, that we must never allow it to make an ass of it. A lot of sages, judicial sages, have said the same thing. They have also said that, look, where there is a wrong, there must be a remedy. Justice Algi, you said that too. And you said it in the case of Nepa versus Awam. You said you must look for, if a man is entitled to relief, you must look and grant him that relief. That is where we have to go back to in this nation. I don't want to take your time, but what I plead with this nation for is that there has to be a change. The country is not moving. There's too much bitterness, there's too much rancor, there's too much division on every front, and we cannot move ahead. Truth has to come back. Righteousness has to come back. Contingents, you know.
That's the part I wanted to also listen to. The conclusion, or our conclusion, is that if you are somebody who could read, facial expressions, and then a body language, you could possibly see an heartbroken woman who seemed to have seen it all and realized that she is just a tiny pin in the haystack. Like, when you look back and you're like, man, this country has degenerated so much. Like, how did they allow this to even happen? How? And then you can see that the people who have lost trust in the judiciary, in the courts, and expressing same every day, right? Actually gets to them, by the way. So, in that regard, people realize that no matter what those in government, no matter what they do, they will never be held responsible. There is always going to be a way for the supposed court that should hold them responsible to free them. So therefore, the trust in the entire system is broken. The third estate of the realm that was supposed to uphold the last fabric of the country has been compromised and it is broken. So she is like and there are many, many like that. okay, that are likely going to die disappointed like that? Because that's what I kind of love to ask. You see all this hatred, divisive, tribal hatred that is currently so weaponized in Nigeria. And if you want to be honest,